A pleasure yacht with 3 Russians disappeared in the Red Sea. The Russian embassy in Saudi Arabia reported this.
So anyway, that's all the information we've got on this story
repeatedly.
right now.
Someone was losing it.
Such in scarves, such in jeeps, just sitting.
On the ground. In the event that they utilize weapons, they will not inform or notify anyone regarding it.
It's possible that a stray bullet could have hit her, you know.
Well, just the scariest thing that happened to me.
Now. And you know, like it's echoed on a dictaphone. Listen, for blacks, a white person is like a wallet on legs. They insist on a payment of $100,000 as a ransom for each and every person.
They taught data that could not be shown in the media. The information has not been confirmed yet.
1 crew member died there. Hello everyone, my name is Georgi Kochakovsky, and now I will tell you my story. I've been in the yacht industry for 14 years, but for the first time ever, I encountered a story where a yacht disappeared without a trace, leaving no evidence behind whatsoever. I had a substantial amount of experience. We even built a water taxi with Get at a certain point in time. At one of the conferences, we met with Dave Weiser, and literally within 2 weeks, we created a water taxi, and the Get app had a button to call a yacht or boat. I have a lot of experience. We walked along the Mediterranean Sea, we walked along the Baltic Sea, but it's the first time the yacht disappeared with us. We began searching for Dubai yachts that would fit our budget. We sought yachts in the $500,000 range, measuring 60 feet in length. After viewing the yachts, we realized we won't find what we want here, at least within the limited time frame. So we desired to purchase a yacht in the upcoming 2 months, and we commenced searching for yachts in Europe. In Europe, we discovered a rather extensive list of yachts, in addition to receiving a cool option from one of the agents, which ultimately met our needs. That is, by pictures, by technical characteristics, by mileage, by all the characteristics we were looking for, plus by price. He sent us, you can say, an impeccable yacht in impeccable condition, and we made the decision to travel and observe this yacht in Spain.
I am Yana, and I am the wife of Georgi. He graciously extended an invitation to me for this incredibly fascinating journey of a lifetime.
We tried to find a yacht in Dubai, and the main problem is that there are few European-made yachts in Dubai. The choice is quite large. There are a lot of yachts produced in Europe that are available here after rental. They have a very high mileage, their plastic is in a pretty bad condition, the interior is in a very bad condition, so we decided to find a yacht in Europe near the manufacturer, where there are many of them, and set off to search in Europe.
It appeared to me that it was extremely simple, that it was not any more challenging than purchasing or selling a vehicle. However, in actuality, when we encountered this in reality, it turned out that in order for agents to start talking to you, you have to prove your motivation to them, indicating that you need this yacht in order to establish a basis for communication. And it seemed to me that flying 7,000 kilometers to see her should already somehow speak of our readiness, but you still have to pay a huge amount just to start talking to you.
Upon initial observation of this yacht, it is immediately apparent that something has gone awry. The plastic appears highly worn, with visible rust streaks and chips in both the teak and plastic materials. These observations raise doubts as to whether this is indeed the intended yacht. Well, maybe dirty after winter. We are boarding this yacht and we are just horrified. There are ashtrays, there are, such guns, lampshades, gangster style, and there are extinguished cigars in the torpedo, all contributing to the atmosphere. The smell is unbelievable. I open the engine, everything is drenched in oil, everything is filthy. And we say, how is that possible?
I was speechless when I saw it. I wanted to cry because such a long distance had been traveled. So much time, nerves, coordination, and money had been spent to see her. Here we witnessed this. It's as if her cats were scratching, I don't know, for a span of 2 years. She looked absolutely terrible.
What are they telling us? Listen, it just so happened that we sent you photos that were taken earlier. We are starting to discover this information. It turns out that we were sent photos taken by the previous owners at the time when this owner bought this yacht. Although we have been asked many times to send us real photos, and we look at all this horror, we understand that we are not ready to take even twice as cheap this yacht, even if they reduce the price by 50% now. At that moment, we realized the yacht was unsuitable for us, but since we had come, we still decided to go to sea and take a test drive.
There was sunshine. We were seated on the stern of this yacht. For the initial time, I was not cold, despite the fact that I was wearing a ski jacket. Walking through this breathtakingly beautiful city was an absolutely amazing experience, filled with indescribable feelings of awe and wonder. That is, there were species that overshadowed everything in the world. All my negative impression of this boat was overshadowed by the mere sight of this place. It was amazing.
Everything is simply changing, but we didn't let ourselves be deceived by this feeling and decided to give up buying a yacht and started looking on websites. We scrolled through about 120 yacht sales ads.
In various locations, it was unclear what to seize, where to proceed, and then another challenge emerged. These are the agents I had to get in touch with. They were starting to irritate me. They did not respond, they vanished, they were dishonest. Are you already negotiating with him there? Buying tickets, I don't know, to France, he ceases to respond and take your calls. It was an unbelievable hassle, and out of nowhere, we got in touch with an agent who promptly replied to me without any delay. Sent over 300 photos of the boat when I asked, send the nuances, what are there that can confuse. Yes, he sent all the comments, immediately mentioned them, warned. The only thing is that the boat was in Croatia.
We made the decision to stop searching in Spain and fly to another area in order to see Croatia and Montenegro instead. Finally, we find a yacht, it suits us completely, and we take it. The next question is how to deliver it from Montenegro to Dubai. We had a total of 2 options, either to load onto the ship or to go on our own. We begin the process of counting our expenses. Load onto ship, $100K. We calculated it will be about $50K to transport it ourselves. That is 2 times as affordable. Moreover, we have to wait for 2 months for the ship, but we can start on the yacht now. I phone my friend, ask for help to sail the yacht. He says, oh, I'm nearby, I'll be there soon. He arrives by car, arrives at the yacht club. We are getting on the yacht. I promise my wife that there will be an amazing trip. We are sailing through the Mediterranean Sea on a yacht. Romance. Minimum duration of the journey is 10 days.
I experienced nausea throughout the entire journey. I simply felt unwell the entire time. I thought we would prepare some tasty food at that place, that we would enjoy sunbathing. Unsure it'll be like that. 3 in Europe on a yacht, but I realized I was stationary, fixated on the horizon to avoid seasickness. I couldn't walk due to the flying forks, knives, and boxes with cabinets and doors constantly opening on the yacht. It was a chaotic scene, with items flying all around me, making it impossible to move. In actuality, the journey did not live up to my delightful expectations that I had envisioned in my dreams.
We purchase a yacht, execute a contract, and make the decision to navigate the yacht. Accompanying us are my spouse Jana, my comrade Fyodor, and the trio of us as a team are departing from the harbor and commencing an extraordinary expedition. We reach the first islands of Greece. There it turns out that the Corinth Canal is closed, and we need to bypass Greece completely in a circle. We make a decision that we have to take this particular route. We leave Greece, bypass it, and come to Cyprus, a beautiful island in the Mediterranean Sea. Our path from Cyprus proceeds to Turkey. Interestingly, in Europe, parking is less costly than in Turkey, and 5 times less costly. Parking in Europe typically costs around $60 per day, whereas parking in Turkey tends to cost approximately $350 per day. If you compare this to the cost of parking a car, you park your car for $10 a day, but you have to pay $350 a day to go there. These are sizable sums of money for daily parking.
There was a moment when it abruptly became dark. It was an extremely frightening feeling because we were walking, the sun was shining, everything was going well, and all of a sudden it became dark, and we became aware that we were approaching a massive black cloud, and everyone became scared.
Waves are getting higher, waves are starting to flood the yacht, clouds are becoming thicker, we are caught in hail, we are caught in a storm.
Gosha said that we are going, but in front of us, we were horrified, and I really hoped that he would somehow convince everyone because we had to get away from everything he was trying to do. In general, Gosha said we shall go. We will continue straight ahead as there are no obstacles. Clearing ahead, all is well, no cause for concern. And we enter right into this black cloud. Hail begins, rain begins, and amazingly everything quiets down around. That is, hail is falling, but there are no waves, and we stand in this darkness with hail and just waiting to see what happens. So we're not going fast. We do not hide, we do not run away, we simply stand hiding and waiting. It was a very strange feeling, it was scary, it was unusual, somehow very exciting and filled with anticipation. At that particular moment, I felt an overwhelming sense of extreme discomfort. I was genuinely hoping for Fyodor to ultimately complete it, and we would make our way back to where we started. But Gosh was remarkably calm, exceedingly confident that we will all go through it now and everything will be fine. So I placed my trust in him. He is still my spouse, and I think, okay, fine, I should offer my support to him. In general, we passed through this cloud and the weather improved. The sun came out, this darkness remained behind, and for a while we breathed out and calmed down.
We are passing through Albania. On the right side of us is Italy, and we are already approaching Greece. Currently, I am at the helm. Our speed is approximately 30 knots. The velocity is quite high at the moment. We are currently flying on a glider across the sea, and Yana comes up to me and says, "Listen, there is a boat behind us not far away." It seems that we are being followed. I swiftly turn around, and to my surprise, I do indeed see a ship somewhere behind us. The ship is moving at a fairly high speed and is rapidly approaching our position. I see by the speed that we will literally enter Greek territorial waters in half an hour, and we are currently passing through neutral waters between Albania and Italy. We have literally 5 miles left to Greece, and with us is practically compared a huge ship, in front of it a cannon. It is such a big military ship. We were a little scared. We didn't understand who it was. Maybe it's pirates, maybe they want to attack us. We receive a call on the radio when we catch up. Motor yacht, we kindly request that you stop and identify yourself as per protocol. And in the distance, we see the inscription Police Italy. When the police stopped us, we naturally got scared. We didn't understand what was going on, why we were being detained in neutral waters. In theory, they cannot detain us in neutral waters, especially when everything is in order, the flag is in place, all the boat names are in place. They simply wanted to verify the documents to determine if we are included in any sanction lists, our intended destination, and the reasons behind our choice of this particular route, in fact. We hung out on the yacht for about half an hour. We were swaying on the waves. I didn't feel bad anymore. We reached out to the police explaining that we needed to shorten our check due to the crew feeling unwell and experiencing seasickness, and asked if it was possible. They treated it with great understanding. They said, yes, of course, you can start the engines and slowly start following the routes you were following. We need another 15 minutes there to clarify. And after 15 minutes, they let us go, said we have no questions or claims against you. You can proceed towards Greece, where you were heading. The memories of being deceived in Spain were completely erased by the experiences of the last 7 days on the road. And we are already completely relaxed, walking by the sea, enjoying the journey. Approaching Turkey, and suddenly, unexpectedly, the yacht starts behaving strangely. The right side initiates bouncing. We promptly call the service because we are at sea in case of any issues, and we still have a substantial distance to cover. The service arrives, inspects, and we contacted an authorized dealer for our engines. The service comes, starts looking at the engines, unscrewing something, checking, connecting computers. Per their instructions, gentlemen, it's time for you to go upstairs and remove the engines. In terms of engine removal, may I ask about the cost? It's $350 per day or 350 euros per day, plus engine repairs. Unexpectedly, the amount has jumped up by almost another $100,000 due to an unknown breakdown. To ensure smooth service, I advise the gentleman to wait as I have a mechanic who can fix it on Zoom. I call my mechanic, Sasha, and explain the situation. I need your help, Sasha. I require remote service over the phone. Consequently, I slow down the service and inform the gentleman to wait for further instructions. He says, I have never provided such services before, but I will try. We call him, he says, come to the devices. I approach the devices with the phone. He says, go down to the engine compartment, show me the engine, show me this, show me that. I show him everything. He says, I know what the problem is. You need to go to the hardware store, buy such a thing that cleans toilets with a metal wire and insert it into the exhaust pipe, clean it, and everything will be fine. I say, Sasha, thank you very much, but I found it difficult to believe, of course, that this would help the yacht. We are heading to the store, taking wire. I descend on a rubber boat. We begin cleaning the exhaust pipe, and indeed it is beneficial. There is no requirement to remove the engines. We simply have a clogged exhaust pipe. You should have witnessed the expressions on the faces of these repairmen when we were able to repair the yacht ourselves, even via Zoom. They were simply shocked. At that particular moment, I actually desired to sell our service technology to these individuals. While we were standing, repairing, our time began to run out because we had our own business in Dubai, and we realized that we urgently needed help because we couldn't fully complete the route ourselves. I am inquiring my friend if he has anyone who is able to provide assistance to us with the transfer process. According to Feder, we have a friend from university who is presently available and willing to assist us with our current situation.
I, Daniel Vasilyev. I served as a sailor on a yacht for a period of 30 minutes, experiencing the life at sea. We transported her from Turkey to Dubai.
We make a call, we have a conversation, Dan. There's a colossal route that needs to be passed by yacht. It's a cool idea. I'm ready to take it, but I want to bring my wife with me.
And here Danya says that he wants to invite his wife so that she can continue this journey with them. I am telling you, damn it, think 20 times. This is not at all about some luxurious vacation. It is really very difficult. Think well and consider the challenges carefully. In general, Danya said that he has Masha very bye-bye, very active. She will definitely cope. She will definitely like it. In general, I tried to somehow convey my experience that this is not the most exciting journey for a girl, but they didn't listen to me.
I am Masha. With my husband Danae, I ended up on a boat that got caught in a whirlpool and captured with a hole received from a pirate in the Red Sea. I am not connected to the sea in general, and moreover, it's especially funny that I can't swim very well, and therefore it is difficult to assess what specific role I played on the boat, but I cooked a lot and cleaned a lot. I think that's basically what women can do there.
In the morning, we depart from Turkey and we arrive in Cyprus by yacht. Danya, please leave the keys. We will sit on the plane by ourselves and fly to Dubai.
We took a leisurely walk along Egypt for a considerable amount of time. We had to come up with various options on how to find fuel and refuel the vehicle. The entire story is based on the fact that, of course, the boat is speeding. The story revolves around how much the boat speeds and how much fuel it consumes. So it goes well, eats pretty well too. Therefore, to continue, you had to refuel either daily or walk slowly and refuel every 3 days to ensure an uninterrupted journey.
We experienced difficulties while searching for affordable fuel, even in Egypt. However, Saudi Arabia surpassed all of our expectations as we reached our destination in the first city known as Jeddah.
After spending a total of 4 days there, we were promptly refueled, as we had already fully understood the situation at hand.
They go on a glider at a beautiful moment they call, saying they ran out of fuel in the Red Sea. Now they'll consider their options. They drop anchor. The captain from Egypt remembers that he has a friend who can refuel the ship and provide them with the necessary fuel to continue their journey. A diving vessel approaches, rescues them with fuel to continue their route. No civilization along the coast of Egypt where they are located. Renting a fuel truck that would run parallel to their route when they go by sea would make a journey through Egypt in order to refuel the vessel. Guys, imagine this situation. A yacht is sailing and a fuel truck is sailing in parallel, and they periodically approach the shore for the fuel truck to refuel them. In general, they cover Egypt in approximately 12 days, which is simply an unrealistically short period of time. I am tearing my hair out there saying, how is it possible to go to Jeddah for 4 days?
Then we followed the movement of the guys. We were in touch with them all the time. Not everything went smoothly, but at least they were moving regularly, systematically towards the final goal.
Then our next stop was Jizan, where we found only a commercial port and nothing else of significance in the city. And in this port we were marinated for about 2 weeks, while we were trying to say that we have only 5 tons of fuel, we cannot get more, please give us these 5 tons. Slaves nodded, saying, yes, 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 we'll come up with something, didn't give anything. And the situation was complicated by the fact that all this was happening during Ramadan. So this is basically a sacred month for all Muslims, and they don't work much. So they sort of operate to some extent in their own manner, and in this place you would likely be able to communicate with them only after 7 in the evening or a similar time.
To refuel, you must negotiate with a state company in order to obtain a small quantity of diesel fuel for your vehicle's needs. You can't do this at the port, so I had to remotely contact the Ministry of Foreign Affairs with our Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Saudi Arabia. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs gave me the contacts of the customs, and for almost 2 weeks we coordinated the delivery of 5 tons of diesel fuel to the port of Jizan to refuel our yacht. For 2 weeks we tried to refuel the yacht in the port of Jizan. It was just madness. We alerted all individuals, including the director of the biggest oil company in Saudi Arabia, and captured their attention. And per the directive of the leader of this company, the fuel company of Saudi Arabia, we have been granted permission to supply fuel for our yacht. In a fortnight, we will ultimately have a yacht that has been refueled. She will be able to go out. However, the further section is extremely perilous. The plot traverses through Yemen.
Following that, they experienced a lengthy transition period from Saudi Arabia to Djibouti. And this transition was difficult because they had to stay without communication for several days because they passed through the Red Sea.
The following morning we depart. There is no signal anymore as we venture out to sea, diligently tracing the approximate course of the ship. This is already situated in the middle position between Yemen and Eritrea. We are on our way there now. Every mile the wave is stronger, the wind is stronger. We are fighting these waves, understanding that our fuel consumption there is slightly increasing something else. Well, that is, we make a decision. Somewhere by lunchtime we are like that, so something got us down. Let's take a break. Let's pause for a while. I need to refuel, I need to have lunch, sleep for 2 hours, rest. We are stopping for a short break to recharge and rejuvenate. On the map, we can observe that there is a cluster of islands in this location that are entirely unidentified. Some name, island number 1, island number 2. To whom do they belong there? Well, it is not clear. They are situated in the sea, and it appears to be the perfect shelter from unfavorable weather conditions.
Roma wrote that they should come by Wednesday evening at the latest. Actually, by the maximum, by midday, by evening, we were waiting for them. Until now, we didn't panic, everything was fine. The only thing, Gosha got tense immediately, because on the first day, when they started from the first overnight stay, they didn't plan the route. It was very strange, and it greatly confused Goshu. But we were calm, we thought there was no connection, forgot, fussed, quickly started early in the morning. In general, we managed to stay calm and composed.
We spent a night at that place and hoped that the weather would improve slightly during our stay of one night. She really seemed to have improved a little, then got worse again. We didn't have communication at that moment to check the weather conditions. Decision made, we need to move on.
Well, I mean, and there is also such a moment of decision-making, you know, like standing on these islands, like still waiting, trying that the weather calms down, or like not standing and continuing the journey. We understand that our diesel generator has stopped working. While we were standing there, something suddenly malfunctioned several times in this unfortunate design. It overheated, and here he says goodbye. So we understand that we don't have a fridge, which means all our products were crying. We don't have a stove or tea, nothing. We think like this, right? Well, that means standing is not an option.
We waited, knew it was getting dark. Apparently we need to continue moving forward.
Let us go, we have just started. It will take approximately 15 minutes. The guys are all sitting on the fly, while I am sitting in the cabin of the company downstairs. Masha runs downstairs. Danya, something seems to have come off. Something is clapping. Go and have a look. The captain rules, can't be replaced. Whoever is a sailor just watches.
And all of a sudden there began to emerge a few uncommon sounds, pops, similar to the sound of popcorn popping in the microwave, which was quite unexpected.
We observe and realize that we are being pursued by vodka. And she not only chases us, she shoots at us. Because we hear such claps, like pop, 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 well, like popcorn exploding in the microwave.
On Wednesday evening, when they didn't show up, everyone started to worry, but still hoped that, well, maybe something broke on the way. They are slowly coming. They may have halted somewhere to wait out the inclement weather. Therefore, overall, at that specific moment, we still maintained hope that they would make contact in the near future.
And the connection is lost, and subsequently the crew did not establish contact. I do not know. Honestly, at that moment, I did not even have time to get scared. I somehow managed to keep calm and react quickly. In that moment, I realized the key was to ensure Masha remained unharmed. Masha hurriedly ascended the stairs twice, you know what I mean? A stray bullet could have hit her. I ran up the staircase once. We ran right in front of the bullets.
I fell on the floor there. Danya just covered me from above, and these bullets were whistling over us in different directions.
In front of us is a machine gun, and from this machine gun they shoot at us like this. And I see these projectiles exploding on the water. Briefly, like bullets, when they hit water, they create fountains.
I believe this is probably the one. Currently, in my nearly 37-year existence, the most terrifying and spine-chilling thing that has ever happened to me, without a doubt.
There was no time to watch. Yes, we are all on the ground. I'm just entertaining Masha like this. The captain is hiding under the counter, on the gas. Well, what can you do? By gases? Yes, well, don't stop, don't ask, guys, who are you? Why are you shooting at us? If they are already shooting, well, like they are hitting, run.
Times they fit.
To the courts, and they ask for either Coca-Cola or coffee or cigarettes. It is possible that at that moment some conflict could have occurred, and what happened happened. Oleg, but anyway.
Certainly these fishermen must have some form of communication, correct? And maybe during this period, over the course of a few days, they might have already shared some information.
If a conflict situation arises, and figuratively speaking, the fishermen use weapons, they will not inform or notify anyone about it. The only thing is that every ship has a so-called AIS, an automatic identification system, which notifies and provides information about the current location of the ship, its speed, the cargo on board, and the number of people. But in case the yacht was captured, this AIS is certainly turned off in order not to track the boat's location.
We started to worry a lot. We started to raise everyone's attention carefully. We didn't want to cause panic either. Who knows if they will come now? And we already started to panic there. Started asking at the arrival port, at the departure port, what's there, who saw, and no news.
Yes, the situation is like that, incapable of stopping. You are incapable of going back, only capable of moving forward. And as much strength as you have, you give it all away. Because you comprehend that you need to reach a destination, at the very least, in some way or another, without any delay or hesitation. And we are currently following the route towards Djibouti. We have a point somewhere along the route, but I'm not sure of the exact location. It's currently 9 p.m., or maybe closer to 10 p.m. We have been walking for several hours, and it's completely dark outside. The sun has set below the horizon, leaving us in pitch darkness. The stormy weather has caused waves ranging from 3 to 5 meters in height, resulting in flooding. Inside the cabin, the windows are filled with water, making it impossible to see anything. However, there are some lights, signals, and other ships visible from the outside. To get a better view, we have to sit outside on the flybridge. The conditions are challenging, but we remain determined to reach our destination. In midair, at a height of 4 meters above the water, well, approximately above the water level, the wave splashes down from a higher position. You hold on to whatever you can just so you don't get washed away.
And Danya mentioned, could you kindly go and take a look? Right here I have something I would like to show you, if you don't mind.
A heap of chips. Precisely what is occurring? Well, like the coffin just lies there without any movement or activity. Indeed, it is undeniably a coffin. Well, and upon the board, my eyes behold a furrow that bears a striking resemblance to the very furrow I have just described. and a bullet of this magnitude. That is the size that we are dealing with here. I ran outside, immediately looked. It's above the waterline. There don't seem to be any other damages. We ran all over the boat there, searched everything. There's only one hole above the waterline, but it looks scary. Everything is still in pieces, as if. Imagine, someone was present at that specific moment inside that coyote, and it is positioned directly on the bed, right in front of the pillow.
We established a search headquarters. He was a chat room where relatives of the individuals who were on a yacht joined, specifically those who were capable of taking effective action without panicking, and in a fully committed and dedicated manner. Each person had their own task, and we executed our respective functions as a cohesive team. An individual was searching for information, another individual confronted the Russian media, and yet another individual confronted foreign media. I was in charge of personally contacting everyone. I called each individual and wrote to every person in all languages across all time zones. I assumed the role of being the voice that represented our chat during the conversation we had.
The night passed, and in the morning, already in some kind of oblivion, after the night in oblivion, I woke up and realized that we had arrived. We had reached the other side of the Red Sea, that we had come for the second time, that everything seemed fine, that even if some boat systems start to fail now, we are not far from the shore. And at long last we have arrived in a secure and protected sanctuary, our much-needed safe haven. And it transpired that we had changed to the side of Eritrea and are seemingly located in the waters that belong to Eritrea. We were there because if we had gone out into the middle of the sea on the ship's course, we would have encountered this storm again, and nobody could simply endure or bear it any longer.
The sun is shining, and at approximately 9 in the morning, I vaguely recall, around 9.30, something like that, we are disconnected. Well, as though a patrol boat of the Coast Guard of the elite is halting us, well, evidently for reasons that are still unclear to me at this moment. Coast Guard cutter Eritrea, well, this is how it looks. So they do the same thing as the Saudis did, as they did in Egypt, but with one difference, they have a bazooka on their shoulders.
We transmitted it to the media, and I received a notification stating that there is some news to be conveyed.
What was the pirate attack on the yacht? We witnessed this message and have absolutely no clue what course of action to pursue. This is an unprecedented circumstance that has never happened to us before in all of our previous experiences.
At that precise moment, I couldn't even fathom the reality that it was indeed the exact same thing that I was experiencing.
This is such a moment that you, completely helpless, and you don't understand how you can help a yacht that is in the open sea with your friends on board. And you comprehend that you need to take action, but there is an absence of a clear and well-defined plan. None of us has come across this particular situation before.
Our captain and Daniel went to handle these individuals to ascertain the situation and to narrate their own account, explaining how we arrived in this location initially, because the others simply couldn't comprehend it. A beautiful snow-white yacht carrying a group of carefree citizens unexpectedly ends up in Eritrea, leaving everyone perplexed and eager to uncover the reason behind this unusual voyage to the African nation. They believed it was peculiar.
So we kind of, sort of, and we see people with guns, like actually, something like that is cracking in my head, right? In the sense that people with guns are clicking, Fuck, we don't want to meet people with guns anymore. Well, fuck it. For 2 weeks, first people with machine guns were on guard, then they just shot at us, damn it, from these machine guns, and now they've aimed a bazooka at us. Well, we're like that. Somehow, this is it. Well, in general, we were not happy with this meeting.
We didn't fully understand who was in front of us.
Like document verification, like, yes, they're kind of welcome to Eritrea, seems like everything. Display the documents over there, they acquire the documents. And what possessions do you possess? What type of phones do you have? Do you examine the navigation on them? Show me the type of phones. And as though every single word, that is, they traversed that area, they embarked on the vessel, which, incidentally, typically nobody had done previously. That is, nobody has ever stepped foot on the boat. Well, I mean, it is actually not really cool to trespass and board someone else's boat without permission. that is, as if demonstrated, observed, or made available to the public. All is good in here. They arrived at our location, examined the documents, collected all of them in a folder, proceeded to their vehicle and said, "Let's have them follow us." We are climbing somewhere up the mountain. On the mountain, this dude who accompanies us there is some guy walking alone who is holding our documents, and there is a soldier with guns walking behind us. Let's go up the mountain. Up there, he seemingly caught a signal. He reportedly communicated from somewhere, speaking to us for approximately 5 minutes. Well, let's return to the base of the mountain.
Each morning, we began by picking up the phone and dialing every conceivable phone number that might assist us in locating the individuals who were missing in the vast expanse of the open sea.
However, a plan is developing regarding the next steps at this particular moment, because precisely 2 seconds, most likely, we are discussing and reaching a unanimous decision that it is imperative to transmit this to the media, because this news ought to garner the utmost level of attention for our colleagues, and this is most likely the sole means of aiding them at present.
Code, type. And there was such a moment, there was this translator whom they took, whether he was like a fisherman or I don't know, maybe he's actually from intelligence, who the hell knows. He sort of observed that Masha also possessed a phone in that particular place, and he was like, "Is this your phone?" I personally witnessed it with my own eyes. He was like, hide himself from view, as if trying to avoid being seen or noticed. What does this mean? I don't understand. And we follow them. So all our documents, 2 out of 3 phones are with them, and we are following them along, already walking along the shore, actually walking normally from the point of view that along the shore, there is not such a strong wave. There is some kind of good road. Apparently they know themselves. And we're going as if everything is normal, going back and forth to lunch. Now I don't even remember the time, by the way, but there's still some time left. So we're just going and going and going. And they also meet us there with guns. That's it. Someone important arrives in a jeep, introduces himself, but how does he introduce himself? He doesn't introduce himself. He says, "My name is Arn." That's it, no titles, nothing. And people don't have any form, so they are dressed like soldiers, but at the same time there are no ranks, no insignia, no epaulets, no one, nothing. Soldier with rifle stands in boots. Well, somehow he manages. That is, it is not very clear who they are at all. And they pose the question to us, where are you from? What is the hole in the boat? Who shot at you back and forth? A certain protocol is presently being written down in a notebook. We inquire of them, but we are curious. Who exactly are you in any case? Everything is good. Do not worry. Do not worry about anything. You can rely on us.
And the onset of madness begins. We were completely taken aback because we were attacked by people from all sides, from all forms of media, leaving us shocked and bewildered. You provide comments we desire to print, provide us with exclusivity, and on one hand, it was fantastic that they all participated, but on the other hand, it was completely chaotic because it divided everyone. The phones did not cease ringing.
Some wrote that sailors were lost, sailors urgently need to be searched, provide assistance to everyone. And the Egyptian media and the press in other African countries, which tends to be more oppositional or something like that, they started writing that it is a fairy tale about Russian sailors, which Russian military arranged in order to strengthen their presence in the Red Sea and build their Russian military base.
Logged into Instagram, conducted a search for photos, attempted to locate specific details, including passport information, were misled, received calls from journalists, posed as authorities, made an effort to obtain exclusive details for their interviews. It was an extremely stressful situation. Naturally, all the families of the guys were subjected to a completely uncontrolled and chaotic attack by journalists. And on one hand, it helped. On the other hand, of course, it was very distracting, because they simply did not stop day and night.
The journalist from the Washington Post contacts us, conducts an interview, and publishes a large article on this matter. And this news is spreading worldwide. All news releases on federal channels began with our news and have now reached a global audience. In the Red Sea, pirates attacked a yacht.
They do not say who they are, why they stopped us. We will just check you now. You claim to be Russian, so we will proceed to send your documents to the Embassy of Russia. Check, release, no worries. Wait until tomorrow. Bad weather. Where are all of you headed?
We were told that we will check everything quickly and let you go. But somewhere, probably on the third day, and even more on the fourth, it became clear to us that, it seems, we are being fed some nonsense, and it is completely unclear why we are here. Our captain came up with the idea of writing a letter in Russian to the consulate of the Russian Federation in Eritrea to deliver it to them. And there we wrote about the fact that we are such citizens, we are in such a place, nobody understands what is happening, and please contact us in any way possible.
Immediately after the yacht vanished, we promptly reached out to the consulates of Eritrea, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and successfully made contact with Yemen. But everyone said that they don't have yachts and definitely didn't enter their territorial waters. We asked many times all search services. We asked the military if anyone saw a yacht. All answered, we lack yachts. That is, the authorities certainly didn't possess yachts.
And we just initiated a movie about the same situation, portraying how an American tanker was captured by Somali pirates and merely witnessed the occurrence of the negotiation process, gaining an understanding of the necessary steps that need to be taken in such circumstances. In general, we attempted to locate any information. We perused articles regarding what individuals do in general, how to communicate with pirates, how to interact with them. And we switched on the film on Netflix, Captain Phillips, and simply began watching the instructions on what to do. And I was mentally prepared for it, since my phone was the contact for everyone. I interacted with every person. I was worried that this contact might be established with me, and I needed to know how to react and what actions to take. I observed, attempting to gather information on proper conduct, the appropriate words to use. And on the whole, this film served as an instruction manual for us on how not to get lost in a challenging situation when pirates give us a call.
At a particular point in time, the pirates get in touch with us and convey the message that they require a sum of $100,000 as a ransom for every individual involved in this situation, and they are adamant about their demand. The overall sum is $300,000. This is an exceedingly large amount, but we make the determination that irrespective of the expense, we will rescue our crew, regardless of the monetary value it may entail.
And there was another moment when they could do a lot of harm because they deceitfully obtained data that could not be shown in the media because it could harm the guys. I got in touch with the girl who had already been negotiating with the pirates at that time, and she is well acquainted with this procedure. And she cautioned me that in the event of significant media hype, it could potentially be detrimental to the team, as it may enable the pirates to demand a higher ransom or exploit other means. In general, they may get angry that we made such a fuss about this process, and in general, the guys may have problems because of this.
When pirates contacted us, we asked where our team was located. We were clearly told that the crew is alive and well. They are in Yemen, in a small village. Living conditions are satisfactory, and they made a promise to send us a video demonstrating their feelings.
We were scared. We didn't know what to do because this process had already begun and we were unable to halt it any longer. And at that moment, you just regret that there is no instruction. You do not know how to act in these situations. You do not understand how to properly make this noise in order to draw attention to this problem. Or sit quietly and wait with the hope that perhaps someday they will get in touch with you. And in that quiet moment, you can make this exchange of words.
Well, according to them, all our documents, phones, and everything else is with them. Here. Well, what should we do? Well, we're standing, not making a move. Well, where are we going against them? They ask so interestingly, do you have any weapons? We say we have no weapons, such, but how is it unarmed at all? What are you doing here unarmed? They were shocked we lack weapons. What do you mean by people without security?
Just imagine the situation. You are in the country of Eritrea. Not a single one of your relatives has been in contact with you for a whole day at this point in time. But the matter is not only in the 8 days when we were held in Eritrea, but also in those days when we were already out of touch, but left Saudi Arabia. So, generally it was already approaching the end there, close to 2 weeks of our absence. There have been absolutely no updates from us regarding our relatives.
Throughout this period, we were in an extremely tense and stressful state. Everyone was exhausted, tired, and periodically someone broke down, cried, and worried. However, we were fully aware that the situation for the guys was much worse. It was completely unclear what was happening to them, where they were, and how Masha was doing. We were deeply concerned about Masha, and we realized that we were the only ones who could offer them help. And we must gather, we need to complete, squeeze, and locate them in order to fulfill our requirements.
From morning he came like this, everything is fine. We say no. Where are our documents? Why are we here? What is the reason for our presence? Oh, well, verify, pause. May I know the anticipated time frame for completion, please? Wait, everything is okay. You can have confidence in us. We comprehend that something must be taken care of. We've been without a fridge for 3 days now, and there's no food or water. All our supplies are running out, and we desperately need help to survive. We had everything planned for a 3-day journey.
Anyway, it's not that they argued, but there was a strange feeling that everyone distanced themselves as if they were all on their own, and each was experiencing their own inner drama, somehow connected with the same fear. What will happen if they keep us here forever?
There he comforted Masha, that is, at some point we began there. We also experienced some disagreements. Why is it that nothing is happening? There was a lingering question in the air that remained unanswered. Let's expedite them there, let's expedite them this. We visited the captain for consultation. Then collectively, we are like that, guys. We need to stay united as a team. Our advantage is that we are a team. Collectively, we all have the same mindset, and collectively, we have faith in goodness.
When we started looking for guys, the first thing we naturally did was open the app, which shows the courts that go in this region and in the assumed place of the first overnight stay, plus minus. On one island, there is a ship.
We will contact them and inquire with the volunteers who assisted us in the search to make their way to this yacht by boat and ascertain whether they have seen our crew members. And when the volunteers approached this yacht, it turned out that it was an American yacht that had been standing on this island for a whole week. They exhausted their fuel, they depleted their food, the water supplies were exhausted, and they sent an SOS signal and requested to be rescued for an entire week. Since we commenced these search operations and deployed a boat to their location, it transpires that we effectively saved the crew of this yacht, one could argue, from a death caused by hunger.
Thanks to the fact that we made a fuss around the search for our guys, around the search for a yacht. We urged the rescue services to go to that area to search and found a distressed ship in that region that was in need of assistance.
At a certain point in time, a boat arrived and moored, and from it emerged a whole line of individuals who were dressed in a very simple manner. These people turned out to be fishermen from Imenka, a small fishing village. They had come to the location in search of a good catch and were ready to start their fishing expedition.
In general, at some point, there is a day that resembles the 5th day, where there is a gathering of around 40 individuals in the port, comprising of a number of people, just like that in these jeeps, simply sitting on the ground without any care, worry, or sense of urgency. And around them, 3 more soldiers were placed there. Who are these people? And this is like, these are fishermen from Yemen. We later grasped their true meaning. We spoke to someone there. We learned they had been in jail for about 3 months. And now supposedly a ship will come for them soon and they will be deported back to Yemen.
And as we already mentioned, we later found out that these Yemeni fishermen also caught them in the territorial waters of Eritrea, where they were supposedly trying to catch fish. And we at least resided on our own vessel with these individuals. These individuals simply had nothing. They resided modestly in the harbor, simply damn on the ground. And every morning, every evening, they conducted a form of collective prayer. Subsequently, they were all transported elsewhere, and individuals who did not sleep on the ground would sometimes find rest in nearby barracks. And this added a total of 500 points to the overall gloominess.
And I go through absolutely all the contacts that I have in my address book, and I remember that I have a friend. She lives in Saudi Arabia. I write to her at 2 o'clock in the morning. I say, hello, listen, we have such a problem. We lost friends. They went out of Saudi Arabia into the sea, and we can't find them. And here I receive a totally unexpected response. She states, "Oh, listen, I have a girlfriend. She performs manicures, and she has an acquaintance who is able to assist you. She was with me during Christmas with this friend, and I will provide you with her number, and she will certainly assist you." We are in communication with her, and she states that she indeed has an acquaintance who is a military attaché and can provide assistance in locating your yacht, as the yacht has gone missing in Saudi Arabia. Most likely, all services have already been connected to the search, but it is necessary to try to connect the military as well. It is already 4 in the morning. I receive a phone number. I make a call. I say, "Hello, we have lost our friends in the ocean. They departed from Saudi Arabia. We cannot locate them. Can you aid us?" And a sleepy voice in Saudi Arabia. "Friends on the ocean, seriously, I affirm, yes, seriously, at this moment it is a serious situation. Seriously, nowhere. Can you assist us?" He states, "Comprehended, good. Presently we will hold a meeting." And precisely 1 hour later, he reports that they have convened a meeting, and the Royal Saudi Arabian forces initiate the search for our yacht and mobilize all possible forces to conduct a thorough search for the missing crew members who cannot be located at the present time.
At a certain point, I began receiving communications from individuals from Interpol, the United Nations, NATO, the British NATO, and NATO of several other nations. I called in every place, just in every place. We received a large amount of feedback from the States. They responded to every call. They returned every call, inquired again about certain details, and asked about the individuals on board. I state that there are 3 Russian nationals and 1 Egyptian individual on board the aircraft. They promptly tried to calm me down, stating that we'll do everything, we'll contact everyone, we'll pass on all information to all rescue services. Do not worry, we have already forwarded this question and are currently handling it. They called back at a later time and provided us with some news. In reality, they are the sole individuals who truly demonstrated authentic interest in this narrative and desired to provide assistance. And at one point, we witnessed an interview with the commander of the United States 5th Fleet in that particular area, located in the Middle East region. He states that he is monitoring the situation, studying. He is aware of what occurred. At this point in time, we are in a state of shock. We comprehend that this news has simply reached a certain level of importance, and they are already aware of the entire world.
I will show you what is really happening in Yemen. We are not the ones causing all this chaos in Yemen.
However, the world will not purchase it, Mr. Sharif.
We will persist in this conflict if they do not depart from our nation.
Despite attempts at diplomatic resolution, the 6-year war in Yemen is far from over.
Step left, step right. He went further than 100 meters from boat. He's already running towards you with a machine gun, like, let's go back. Nothing. There is nothing to do here. And this port is simply terrible. There is nothing at all. Just there are 2 berths, 2 old cranes of approximately 30 years old, most likely, that were built in the 1930s. And nothing else. Just like a desert around. Well, I recall there was this sensation, like something was compressing inside my chest, like, fuck. What's occurring? Well, is this truly how it's all going to conclude, right? So we have already encountered this situation, and now here, it cannot come to an end in this manner. Well, I was somewhat worried. The scariest thing, of course, for me was when I imagined that if there, again, some pirates start there, I don't know, they will tie me up and start sexually assaulting Masha. This is the most horrifying and bone-chilling picture that my imagination has ever painted.
How today, I remember this day, Wednesday, April 26th, already a week, as we do not know anything. Where are the guys? What's happening with them? What should we do? And so on. In the evening, they contact us and say that the guys are in captivity, prepare the ransom. In the morning, we will start negotiations. We will send a video that everyone is safe and sound and start negotiations on the ransom. We are shocked. On the one hand, we are very happy. It means they are safe. It means tomorrow we will solve this issue. We just need to prepare the money to bring them home as soon as possible. On the other hand, it's scary with them because we were informed that they are captive in a village being held there. We don't know their condition. We don't know what's happening. Generally, we were extremely scared, and it was the scariest thing because we simply had to wait for the morning, just wait for new information to appear, and hope for the best possible outcome to alleviate our fear.
On April 26th, in the year 2023, at 9 p.m., we were playing backgammon with Aaron. Suddenly, he received a call on the radio, causing him to abruptly get up. He informed us that he had good news and had to leave. After a span of 2 hours, he returned and handed back all of our documents and phones. He then advised us that we should not be present the following day.
During the anticipated time when we were supposed to receive a video featuring our crew and engage in negotiations regarding the ransom and the method of transferring the money to the pirates, the designated time for these events was set for 9 a.m.
In the AM, Gosha's phone starts to ring. We swiftly jumped out of bed, eager to answer the call that had interrupted our peaceful slumber.
I am currently looking at my phone. Roma, the captain, is calling me on the phone and I need to answer. I pick up the phone, and with a cheerful voice, Roma says, "Gosha, hello. We are currently in Djibouti." I mean, what do you mean? You are being held captive by pirates. He says, "No, we are currently in Djibouti and everything is fine." And his speech comes to an end, interrupted for a brief period, and you know as if it is being repeated again on a dictaphone machine. "Gosha, hello, we are in Djibouti, everything is fine." And the connection is interrupted. I'm calling his phone number again. Once again, the captain's joyful voice rang out, assuring Gosha that everything was fine and that they were all safe. Alive, healthy, arrived in Djibouti, connection lost again. Looking at Jan, I say, "Jan, something's wrong." Perhaps they made the decision to transmit the crew's recording, thereby providing confirmation that they are still alive and well. And again, a call from the captain. I'm picking up the phone again. He says, "Gosh, we're in Djibouti, everything is fine." I'm saying, "Roma, turn on the music." At that moment, I thought that I should ask them to do some action to make sure that it's not a recording on film.
Everything was somehow unreal. It was funny that we tried. Of course, we immediately turned on the phone and tried to catch roaming. It doesn't matter how much it costs, because our relatives haven't heard anything from us for almost 2 weeks. In the end, only Danya's phone was working, and he somehow managed to call his dad despite the difficulties he faced during the process.
I receive a signal and I transmit it to that location. Well, initially I contacted my father by phone to inform him of the situation. "Similar to father, we are currently in Djibouti." And he says to me, "Similar to Danya, is that really you? Can you believe it? Danya, is that you? I'm telling you, Dad, yes, I'm in Djibouti, everything is fine, I'll call you back now." I hang up the phone, I call Goshu, like, "Goshu, we're in Djibouti. My dad is calling me, my dad is sending me SMS, like some stupid question, do you know where the keys to the cottage are?" "I am telling you, you are crazy." Well, I think, like, what the hell, keys? And then I realized that it was probably a test. And we contact Gosh, and Gosh responds by saying, like, "Switch on the radio," so that I can hear that this is an actual radio, that this is genuine radio, like, prove it's you. And we're like, we finally came to Djibouti, we don't get what's the deal, why doesn't he believe? What nonsense, yes, we're in Djibouti.
And Roma says, "What music? I'm speaking. Roma, please turn on the music." And I hear Roma shouting at Dana, "Danya, Gosha desires to listen to music." I commence laughing, contemplating. At this moment, I simply want to hear music and relish the melodies that fill the air around us. And I hear Danya turning on the music, playing some local radio, and I realize that it's all true, that they are alive, they are healthy, the yacht has been found. I hang up the phone, immediately call the captain of the port of Djibouti. I say, "Get the binoculars, look, is the yacht in place?"
What do you mean? How? We are waiting to redeem you. We are waiting for negotiations.
Which?
How? Where? What do you mean? Where are you going? They say everything is fine with us. We have been approaching Djibouti for literally half an hour now, and we will enter the port soon.
I am currently waiting to see whether or not it is true, and according to the captain, I do indeed observe a yacht positioned in the port area.
The first thing I did in Djibouti was to contact them to verify that they indeed reported seeing a boat, confirming their arrival and the discovery of the individuals. It was only after they sent us a photograph of the guys, all seated together and smiling in the police station, that a wave of relief washed over me. At that moment, I truly understood that they had successfully located them, and a sense of reassurance flooded my being.
In my perspective as an illustration, one term that comes to mind is Somali pirates, for instance. Somali, exactly. In principle, it's somehow well known to everyone, but we didn't even make it to Somalia. About Yemen, I think I didn't really know. Well, Yemeni pirates, yes. But in general, we didn't really think about it. All individuals were fully aware that Yemen was a location that should be avoided. If it had not been for this particular story about the storm, it is highly probable that we would not have even considered going there in the first place, given the circumstances at hand. I do not think I am an expert in this. I definitely was not familiar with the details of why and where it is not advisable to stop.
There is no sense of completeness. Well, because I am aware that just the other day, the yacht ultimately arrived in Dubai. I do know for certain. Well, always ready, right? That is, well, is it always like this at the sea, right? Here's the selection. Well, I mean, Poundru, all individuals who are located on the upper floor. As if well, you know, there are numerous instances in life when you don't have the strength to hold on anymore, when you feel like giving up. Well, in terms of physicality. However, if you do not hold on, that is the end of it. There will be no further opportunities to continue or recover.
Following the discovery of our yacht, it was subsequently towed to the dock, and she remained positioned next to another yacht, which was traveling in the opposite direction. And we discovered that this yacht had also been targeted by pirates, but the narrative concluded in a tragic manner. One of the crew members passed away at that location. We were simply overjoyed that our narrative concluded in a positive manner. We still do not know who had our crew, but we definitely know that there was a pirate attack on the yacht. We have a bullet hole in the side of our vessel, and we have a massive bullet stuck in our windowsill. There are multiple versions indicating that the crew may have been detained by the military. The crew might have been detained by bandits, or they might have been detained by certain formations. We found ourselves in the very center of the political events that were taking place in the Red Sea. At that moment, a revolution was taking place in Sudan, and it was very unstable in that region. Just as the conflict between Saudi Arabia and Yemen has concluded, we discover ourselves in the midst of all these occurrences. And we have zero idea where our individuals were found, but we definitely know that they opened fire on us without warning from a large caliber machine gun and made a hole in our side. The crew took risks with their lives, but we successfully completed this route, and thankfully they were able to save their lives as well as our yacht. Currently we are in Dubai. Our yacht is secure on the shore. We engage in a significant amount of work on its restoration. And we will definitely inform you the story of how we delivered it from Djibouti. We faced a turbulent 6-month storm during the journey. It was extremely challenging to extract her from Africa, and now she is ultimately in Dubai, and we must organize it and dispatch it within a span of 2 weeks. We initially conceptualized it as an investment undertaking, and we intended to lease out the yacht. We have a concept whereby we want to rent it out, and we have a 2-week time frame to tidy it up and make it according to our ideas. Within this 2-week period, we will need to start generating our first $1 million in revenue.